Hey everyone, and welcome to Hunch's webinar, Unlocking the Full Potential of Snapchat Advertising. My name is Emma, and I'll be your host for today alongside Hunch's founder and CTO, Igor Simovic, and our head of product, Nebojša Knežević. On this webinar, we'll discuss Snapchat as a social advertising and media platform. Why are so many modern advertisers turning to it, and how to maximize your ROI from Snap advertising with dynamic and localized ads. We'll showcase Hunch's full Snapchat integration, how to build creatives for Snap, and launch and scale standard and automate Snapchat campaigns in a platform demo. And after the demo, we'll have a Q&A session where we'll answer any Snap worrying questions, so please be free to send them out to me in the chat anytime during the webinar. And for those of you who don't know us, Hunch is a meta business partner, and we're specialized in the production and delivery of hyperlocal and highly contextual creatives. Okay, so why Snapchat all of a sudden? It all started out as a social media channel for cute filters and fire streaks, right? But now Snap became a serious paid social advertising platform that performance marketers are using really well to promote their brands. And statistically speaking, Snap has 375 million active daily users with $4.4 trillion in global spending power. So those are some massive numbers. And what's more, a mind-blowing percentage of 75% of Gen Z and millennials say that is their #1 platform for sharing real-life experiences. So it's no surprise that businesses benefit from using this platform to connect with a unique and super engaged audience. It's a perfect place for advertisers to showcase both their creative and campaign expertise and undoubtedly profit from it. And we're convinced that Snapchat isn't going anywhere, so we have yet to see the prime of it both as a platform and as a marketplace. And with that in mind, Nebs, could you tell us why is the evolution of Snap specific in paid social advertising? Why are so many modern advertisers turning to Snapchat, and what's the role of creative in it?
So, hey everyone, welcome to our webinar, and yeah, I hope you'll find this useful. So, as we all know, the whole advertising industry is facing some serious challenges, especially when it comes to privacy concerns. So social media advertising has really stepped up there and became a game changer, essentially because you got the chance to tap into large audiences, where then the platform works with advanced big learning models. And that's really well Snapchat also fits in. So when we talk about like what's happening there, it's like almost 42% of e-commerce is m-commerce, mobile commerce, which means the transactions are completed on mobile phones. So Snap's super focus on mobile offers great opportunities for all advertisers because it's like mobile first and mobile only. If we talk about audiences, which you can meet on Snap, if we speak just about Europe and US, it's like roughly 78 to 80 million users in Europe and more than 100 million users in US. So that's a really solid user base you can tap into, and those are the users that are spending their cash online. So the industries that generally see benefit from networks such as these are fashion and apparel, which is kind of always the obvious one in these, electronic consumer goods, fast-moving consumer goods, and even travel plugs really well into the whole experiential moment, living in the moment philosophy of Snap on how to purchase. And also, which is interesting, gaming and betting can really find its place in these untapped areas. They're usually looked at as branding and positioning channels, but actually you can bridge that gap and build performance campaigns for branding and for gaming and betting. Now, in terms of what you can do with creative on Snapchat, that's really interesting. It's kind of, again, really focused on mobile. You can build single images, single videos. You can build story ads. Story ads are interesting. It's like not slideshow, but carousel of up to 20 images or videos that are stacked. Collection ads are cool because you get that one big graphic element, and then you get tappable cards when you get information about products. And then single ads are really interesting because they're served between the content. So you get single image or single video. And that's what really you want to lean into, because it's not aggressive to user in terms of like it doesn't take too much time. But if you build an impactful creative, you can really make a difference there in those single image and video ads for products there. Now, in terms of how to actually crack that advertising on Snapchat, it's really not that scary. It's not that different than other social networks. but it just comes emphasized because users are always on mobile that you really don't want to have the generic stuff. You don't want to have an ad where it's like a product on blank surface and then you get, I don't know, duplicate brand names or just the price or something like that, because, or ambiguous CTAs and that sort of things, because it really stands out. Like you have creator content, then you have like a boring ad, well, without any significant information, then creator content, users are gonna go away from that. But if you make a really good creative that makes users go, wow, like give it highly designed, good layouts with products, if you have videos with eye-catching animations, and first and foremost, if you present really relevant information to users visually, that's where you can actually expect for something to happen. Now that can be tricky. You can't really do that with like generic catalogs and generic creative. That's not that easy to do. You need to be able to work with your catalog data to get really that relevant information front and center in creative. And that can sometimes prove to be a challenge, like with multiple products, with multiple updates and whatnot. And that, for those of you that know what Hunch is doing, that's exactly where we try to step in to help you build those creatives that make your users go, wow, and really get interested in those apps.
Yeah, and just as Neb said, more and more marketers aren't being afraid to advertise and extend their spending on Snap and are reporting really great results. But as performance marketers in paid social advertising, we encounter challenges such as designing new creatives and building them all over again, which leaves us with unhappy designers doing mundane, repetitive tasks. So then creative collaboration, and also having media buyers manually launch multi-market campaigns and wasting time and resources on low-value tasks. So we're always looking for ways to not work harder, but more clever. Only that way can we build the most beautiful creative that converts and the best campaign that engages our audience and brings revenue growth without getting burned out in the meantime. And this is where Hunch steps in. So using Hunch for Snapchat advertising, you have more flexibility to be creative with your campaigns while being impactful. And now I'll ask our CTO, Igor, to introduce the Hunch Snapchat integration and demonstrate how to launch and scale dynamic and hyper-localized Snap ads in Hunch.
Thank you, Emma. So let's share the screen. Here we are. We're excited to present you a brief demo of the Hunch platform's capabilities for Snapchat advertising. As many of you may already be familiar with Hunch features for other platforms like Meta, we will skip some common and administration parts. However, Hunch seamlessly connects with Snapchat through its API, making the authorization process similar to any other platform authorization. During this session, we will focus on two key topics. First one is launching dynamic ads that really stands out, and second is launching localized ads and creatives through Hunch automated ads. We will explore dynamic ads through a perspective of both catalogs, creatives, and campaigns. So let's jump into our catalogs. When it comes to catalogs, Hunch provides comprehensive management similar to Snap's native catalog system with a couple of additional features. Not only you can create and manage both Meta and Snap product catalogs from a single platform, but Hunch also offers tools for manipulating the feed, which often can be a very tricky or slow process, especially if feed management is not responsibility of marketing team. For example, the feed mapper helps you adjust existing feeds from other platforms like Google Shopping to meet Snap specifications. It's important to have your data present in the feed in any format, and Hunch feed mapper will help you formatting it in the right way. For example, Meta and Snap feed structures for e-commerce product catalogs are actually quite similar, but there are other platforms which feeds needs to be adjusted in order to be used on Snapchat. Also, you can use extensions to add additional data to your feed by certain rules, such as brand logos or images, which can help enhancing your creatives and enable dynamic creative build out. Product feed usually don't have this kind of information by default. So if we want to have, for example, a logo of the brand for each product in our feed, we can extend feed with that data point like this. So let's jump now to the creative part. As we already highlighted, creative as the ultimate driver for successful campaigns, we're going to show an example of how you can transform your product images into relevant and contextualized creatives using Hunch Image Studio and our dynamic templates. So Hunch Studio empowers you to combine static designs with dynamic elements from your feed, giving you tremendous flexibility to influence the visual appeal of your dynamic ads. Whether you want your design to stand out and be aligned with your brand or support specific seasonal promotions, Hunch makes it fairly easy. most of you are already familiar with our creative studio, so we are not going into too deep into details because we are in a short of time. So since dynamic product ads keep proving as an irreplaceable part of any marketing strategy, not only for the retargeting and bottom of the funnel, but for broader audiences and top of the funnel campaigns, it is becoming almost mandatory to keep your creative's quality and attractiveness as close as possible to regular non-dynamic creatives. At the end, Hunch campaign management part of the platform enables you to run and optimize your product catalogs campaigns, just like you do it for Meta on our platform or through Snapchat Ads Manager. Additionally, you can utilize the dynamic templates we showed earlier, enabling seamless creative testing and launching multiple ads simultaneously. Hunch platform streamlines the process, making creative testing effective and effortless. We can create multiple ads and use different creative templates fairly easy. So to summarize this part, everything you need to run effective and highly contextualized dynamic ads on Snapchat is available in Hunch platform through catalog management, creative, studio, and campaigns. So now we're going to jump to our second topic, which is launching localized ads and creatives. So in order to run localized ads with Hunch, we leverage the functionality of Hunch automated ads. This feature extends Snap's native ad system, automating the workflow for creating multiple ad sets, ads, and creatives. Instead of manually creating each ad set for every location, you can utilize a spreadsheet or data source like this one to automate the process. And that spreadsheet or data source remain connected live with your campaign. In case you want to do any further changes and optimization, you can easily manipulate your campaigns from a centralized place. Also, since we don't want only to automate our campaign creation workflow, but creative workflow as well, we're going to use Hunch dynamic templates again. This time, using Hunch video editor to create dynamic templates tailored for each location based on the same data we use for campaign workflow automation. As you can see, we have different videos localized for each of our locations with all the dynamic layers combined again with static design and our animations. And at the end, let's explore automated campaign creation capabilities. As mentioned, we're already going to build our ad sets automatically and use data from spreadsheet for different parameters such as targeting, location, budget, or anything similar. You can look at an automated campaign as a template which will transform your spreadsheet into proper structures on a Snapchat, again by combining parameters you enter manually and ones coming from the sheet. Our ads are going to be built based on our templates for each of the ad sets, again using video creatives generated from dynamic template. In this example, we're going to use two ads for each city or for each ad set. So in this scenario, you can expect 10 ads created for 10 different targeting locations with 2 different templates, resulting in a total 20 ads, all delivered from campaign and creative templates and our data. And any additional expansion of this campaign would almost be automatically. For example, if we want to add a few more cities, everything we need to do is adding additional rows to our spreadsheet, and the system will perform all the other operations, such as creating new versions of video for the city, creating ads, deploying ad sets, and creatives to Snapchat. We hope you enjoyed this really quick demo. We wanted to cover a few not so basic concepts in a short time span, so hopefully you get the grasp of what Hunch platform can be helpful with regarding Snapchat advertising. Looking forward to demonstrating Hunch capabilities in some of the upcoming demos or webinars. Emma.
Thanks, Igor. Yeah, so from building image and video creatives at scale to launching and optimizing campaigns for Snapchat, it can all be managed within a single platform, right? And this is the only right way to unlock ROI with relevant Snapchat ads you can effortlessly manage. And we've come to the part of our Q&A session. So I already have some questions in the chat. Let's begin. The first says, we already have Meta DPA catalogs, so can we reuse them on Snap?
Yeah, so as we already mentioned, Meta's feeds and Snapchats are pretty quite similar. So you can use your Meta feed directly for Snapchat. But if you want to have any additional changes, particularly for the Snapchat, you can use the other features like the feed mapper and extensions that we mentioned earlier.
Thanks, Igor. The next one asks, how hard is it to set up a Snap advertising account?
Well, I'll take that one. So basically, most of those social networks are constructed around the idea that advertising is easily accessible. So yeah, setting up the ad account, well, basically a profile on Snapchat is relatively easy. Yeah, definitely don't be afraid of that. Give it a shot. It should be pretty easy.
Is Snap similar to other social media platforms in terms of how campaigns are managed?
Yeah. In general, most of the social platforms follow the same structure, so you wouldn't see anything completely off. Like there's like you have your campaigns, ads, and targeting and whatnot. There's a slightly higher focus on mobile for those really interested in that. But in general, that's the structure that you're used to. And also for those of you who are on Hunch and like in general, if you're going to do that through our platform, is like it's one unified interface, which is fully connected to both Meta and Snap, so you can manage and launch your campaigns from one spot. I would say that's even easier because it's one in the same system for all.
Thanks, Snaps. And the last one says, can Hunch's customer success team help with Snapchat? Well, most definitely. So from training and the onboarding process, collaboration in the Hunch Creative Studio, launching Snap campaigns, automating and optimizing them later on, our customer success team is there to support you all along the way. And another one came just in, which says, can Hunch help with creative for Snapchat?
I think like when you talk about creative, we can help in a couple of ways. Definitely, you can reach out like to your dedicated CSs and get some guidelines on what works well, how to build creative. You can even grab some case studies or something along those lines to help you along the way to build better creative. But also, I would say you're probably familiar with one of the latest features we rolled out, the design collab and whatnot, where you can submit your design request to our design team and our production team. So basically, when you log into platform, you go submit a design request, and you can get designs from our team, and yeah, give that a try too.
Great, thank you both, and thank you all for staying with us. And if you're ready to unlock the full potential of Snapchat advertising, give us a call to see Hunch in action. This webinar will be available on demand and live on our YouTube channel very soon, so make sure to subscribe to the Hunch YouTube channel and turn your notifications on, and also follow Hunch on LinkedIn for more new content every day. Thank you all again, and bye.
Cheers.